welcome to GCTV Omni Edition Sports, bringing you championship Mustang baseball here in Garden City. Ted Fournier and Phil Henry, we're going to bring you this 9 and 10-year-old championship game between the Pirates and the Tigers. And Phil, 9-year-old baseball is pretty good.
Absolutely, and this is a championship game. It's been quite a week for both of these teams to get here on Sunday, and they've changed the format over from an all-star competition to team competition because the parents, they like to, keep it the way it was during the season. So this is going to be interesting here. These guys have played together all year. They're used to, throwing to the same first baseman. They're used to the same catching, that kind of thing. So this should be a very exciting game.
Tigers are on the field first. We don't have all the positions, but the Pirates will be stepping up to the plate. Both of these teams have played ball all weekend. The Pirates won 3 games. They beat the Reds, the A's, and the Mets. And the Tigers, they've beat the Cubs. I think they beat the Pirates and the A's. So they've had a lot of baseball. A couple teams they played the A's together. The Tigers beat them 15-12 in almost a softball type game, and a little closer game between the Pirates and the A's, 5-4. So that's a comparison for over the weekend. Both of these teams want to win the championship game here. We're at Moeller Field here in Garden City. We've got 5 cameras spread around the field, so we'll get you all the action. We're not sure how accurate the announcing will be, but we'll try.
Well, it's a picture-perfect day for baseball, Ted. The wind is blowing out, out to left center. So these right-hand power hitters that we see a couple of guys out there we might suspect being right-hand power hitters, Ted, they might be able to get one up into that breeze and get it to carry for them. So we might look for the long ball today.
Well, the first gentleman swinging in the batter circle is Maverick Slavin. Slavin maybe, and he's got right away. I'm interested in him. I've never seen a green bat.
Yeah, fluorescent green bat. And he's going to be going against Aiden Fusarelli on the mound. Aiden just finishing up his warm-up tosses, and Aaron Bucko is going to be his battery mate behind the plate. So without any further ado, Ted, we're getting ready to have some baseball.
Yeah, it looked like Aaron is going to have a hard time throwing a strike to Maverick. Very small strike zone. 3-hopper to the shortstop, bobbled the throw, and he's safe.
Nice job by Seshwing there, the shortstop, Ted. He did a great job keeping that ball in front of him. It was a little bit slow, and right out of the batter's box, first pitch swinging, Maverick Slavin's going to be credited with a base hit, infield single.
James Jackson at the plate, left-hander. He backs off, pops it meekly down the third base line. It's foul.
And both of these teams coming out swinging, Ted. 2 pitches from Fusarelli, and both of them have been swung at.
Well, Fusarelli's throwing strikes, and that's all you can ask for your pitcher to do. Fusarelli, he rocks. Throws another strike, popped up in the air. Fusarelli calls it and catches it, so it'll pop out to the pitcher for the first out. It doesn't look like they can steal because the pitcher is still going in the first the full windup here.
Let's bring up number 5, Vinny Hopper, left-hand batter.
Big, tall kid. Throws a strike. Oh, nothing but strikes from Fusarelli.
Yeah, Fusarelli showing a lot of composure out there on the mound, doing a little maintenance out there, kicking the rubber around, getting things the way he wants it, finding that groove.
Another one hit to the second baseman. One hop, picked the throw, and he saved. Infield single.
That was number 7 was Donnie Banks, the second baseman there, Ted, and did once again a nice job. One of the first things you want to do is get the ball. Don't let it go by you. Did a nice job. He just didn't come up throwing.
Up to shaft, catcher throws off his mask. Third baseman reaches for it and catches it for second out. He throws it into right field, and the runners are going to advance. Another ill-advised throw on that part of the infield that you don't want to get the ball thrown around, let the runners advance. We got 2 outs.
Yeah, and that was a great play by Bozzi as he really battled the sun on that one and reeled it in. That was a major league pop-up as this one's fouled on the first base line, Ted. Major league pop-up, and, you know, like you said, ill-advised sometimes. Just run the ball back to the center. Don't let those runners advance.
Isaac Carraro, another left-hander, and he fouled one off. He lines that one foul down the third base line, so he's attacked both lines. 2 down, runners at second and third, and Isaac Ferraro's trying to get the Pirates on the scoreboard here in the first inning.
A couple of infield singles for the Pirates.
And that is the first ball that Aaron has thrown all inning. Everything else has been a strike. What a strike ball ratio he's got going here. Pops that one foul again. Out of play.
A souvenir for a fan from, I think she lives over there on Beechwood.
We can't give out the address, but somewhere on Beechwood. We got 2 down, 2 on, top of the first championship game, Mustang League here in Garden City. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And what an inning for Aaron. He threw nothing but strikes. He threw 1 ball the whole inning and really got out of danger there with that strikeout.
Well, absolutely. He showed a lot of command there. Balls were hit right to fielders. The good news is the fielders didn't let him get past them, but they just didn't really come up throwing real strong as the Pirates were really hustling down the line. So, you know, nice first inning of action. A couple of key plays, too, that it was in foul territory, but when you have the big cleanup hitter up there, Ted, you know, and Pilch was at bat, and he popped and fouled out there to the third baseman. I think that was kind of the key play of that first inning.
Well, start out, there's a lot of people that make this happen, and right away Dave Faricello, the commissioner, works hard and tirelessly making sure that these young people enjoy America's game, and he gets a lot of help from a guy that I can remember back, I think way back in the 90s when I used to do a few things with GCYAA, and Ken Kivett. I tell you, these people dedicate their lives to this game, and you know that's why Garden City is always represented with great baseball and softball. GCYAA does a marvelous job with the fundamentals of preparing these kids. And the Pirates are now on the field. They had a chance to score.
Vinny Hopper is going to be throwing for the Pirates.
Hopper, a big, tall kid, lanky. He's on the mound facing, and who's his battery mate? Have we figured that out yet?
Haven't gotten that number yet.
Umpires are making sure everything's right. Mike Potter is one of the umpires, and Joe Kosbauer is the other one. And we want to thank our PR guy today, Robert Grant. He's been running around getting us all the information. He's doing a wonderful job. He's standing here wondering why I'm mentioning his name. Now you got a smile out of him. So here we go. Hopper on the mound. Pirates in the field. Tigers coming up to bat. Right-hander.
Strike, and that's Owen Westfall doing the catching for the Pirates.
That's strike 2.
A little bit of he's got a couple of things going for him on the mound there, does Hopper. You know, he kind of has a little hitch, if you will. Then, you know, starts with the ball, both feet toeing the rubber. Then he has just that little hitch in his delivery. Then he comes right from behind it, if you will, kind of disguising the ball. So it gives the batters not that much time to look at it, Ted.
Well, he's facing Aiden Pusarelli. Is that Aiden or Aaron?
Aiden.
Aiden, okay.
Yep.
I probably have been murdering that. There's a ball.
So Fusarelli doing a nice job, showing a good eye at the plate.
Fusarelli, typical leadoff guy, no strike zone to throw at. Swings at a high pitch. It's a roller picked up by Hopper. Underhand flip to first, and he's out.
Nice play and sure-handed toss right there by the pitcher as Hopper pitched, then flipped it right over to Isaac Ferrero, the first baseman.
Did a good job holding on the bag, but Isaac sometimes the first baseman come in and go after that ball, and then there's nobody on the bag.
It's gonna.
One thing we haven't noticed, there's 4 outfielders out there. There's 10 people in the field. That's a strike. I was wondering, you were talking to one of the Pirates, and they said I play right center, and I didn't register at the time, but yeah, there's 4 outfielders. There's a shot.
That's going to be fair ball.
Fair. He touches the bag at first, heading to second. The throw into the infield is going to the shortstop, and he'll stand up at second base. Swessing just lined one down the chalk on third base, and he winds up at second base.
Yeah, that was a nice shot right past the bag. You know, the diving third baseman just was no match for it. Once again, a nice play by the left fielder, Ted. It's real important in the fundamental game here that they not let that ball get past him. In that case, there was absolutely nobody backing it up. And a nice hustle move by Sesswing to end up at second. And he's going to be heading into third. Nice heads-up play as he steals third.
Drew Faulkner's the bat. He's wearing number 6, 11-year-old. Goes to Tipton School.
Plays first base for the Tigers.
Swings at a high. Jennifer and Andy, his mom. And his nickname is Hurricane.
Hurricane Faulkner,
Andrew.
I like that.
If I remember, Hurricane Andrew messed up a big part of Florida. A little conference out and talking to the third baseman.
Oh, checking out his knee. You know, he did make a nice diving effort over there, Ted, so they probably wanted to check out his knee there. That's number 11, Aiden Jacobs.
When we asked Andrew what he's going to miss most this summer, it was Mrs. Simpson, his teacher. So that was
strike, and he's called out on strikes.
You weren't kidding when the strike zone's from the top of your hat to the top of your shoelaces.
It's going to bring up Aaron Bucko.
Ball outside. We have a runner at third, 2 down. Both teams have had runners in scoring position here in the first inning of this championship game. Bucko, 10 years old. He's in the 4th grade. He's over at Douglas.
And I think we might have a correction here, Ted. We pulled these lineups. We were handed the lineups just shortly before game time, but I think this is Andrew Faulkner.
Well, then Faulkner didn't bat third. Faulkner didn't strike out. That's a strike. That's
it. Now he struck out, so we'll have to work on finding out who was that batter. That was just before him. This is Aaron Bucko, the catcher.
Kind of rolls it up there. In the majors, that would have been a 57-foot fastball. Over his head. This is Julie and Al Sr.'s son. He gets pitched that one past the first baseman. He's chasing it down. The race to the bag is won by Bucko, and the run scores.
Yeah, that's going to get in the run right there as he put the ball into play, and the first baseman had all kinds of trouble with that one over there. That was Isaac Ferrero, and I don't think that Isaac did the classic thing of letting the ball play him, and then he still was able to keep the ball in front of him. Good fundamental baseball right there, Ted, but he just didn't win the race to the bag.
Well, that came on an inside-out swing, and it kind of had a knuckleball effect on the ball, and so when it hit the ground, it had a lot of spin on it. There's a strike outside. This should be Alex Bozzi. Alex Bozzi goes to Farmington.
That's what we're going to call it based on the lineups we were handed. Ted. And a hustle down to second base by Buckos. He takes the extra base.
Now this young gentleman has confidence galore. He told us about himself. He's a basketball player. He's got 3 trophies. I'm a good fisherman. I love to work, and I can surely hit the ball. That's confidence, buddy.
Swing and a miss, and that is strikeout number 3 of this inning.
I guess we should tell everybody that we have a discrepancy between the lineup and who's batting. Is that understatement there, Phil?
Yes, it has been so far. You know. Well, you know, they hand us the lineup, and then they might have saw a change that they wanted to make. Ted, that's about all I can say. And
well, we're at least telling the interesting things about some of the people on the team.
Well, you know, that information you gave about Alex Bazzi, he'll be leading off the next inning.
And
so
he can surely hit. Alex says so.
So that'll be excitement.
I want to go fishing with him. So let's flip the chart here. It's 1-0 Tigers. And we haven't been able to say the Tigers have a lead for a while, have we?
Yes, they're coming out in this championship game, and they're
we're going to start the top of the second. The same pitcher's coming out here,
Aiden Fusarelli did a really nice job in that first inning.
Threw nothing but strikes. Nothing but strikes. He threw 1 ball to all the batters he faced, and they were swinging. That's one thing I really like to see. These kids are out there swinging. They're not standing there taking the ball. If the ball comes towards home plate, they're out there swinging at it.
Yeah, and that keeps, you know, what that does is that keeps a nice balance to the game. It keeps a nice rhythm, particularly when you're a fielder. You know, you're out there, you're waiting for the ball, and you know, it's nice to know that you can just be ready.
You are watching the Mustang Championship of Garden City. These are all, this is a tournament. Let me kind of explain it, explain to me. The GCYAA now has teams from a couple other communities playing with them. Wayne and Dearborn Heights to be specific, but this is a tournament of just the Garden City teams. So the Garden City teams got together Friday night, Saturday, and this morning played a round-robin tournament, and these are the 2 surviving teams. So this is truly the 9 and 10 championship tournament for Garden City. Omni Edition Sports for 30 years been bringing you the important events here in the city, and this is an important event.
Well, this inning we have slated Aiden Jacobs as he steps into the batter's box, Owen Westfall, and Nick Mason.
Like the stance there, you see the hands are held steady, the back foot's planted, and he's staring down the pitcher. That's great instruction.
Yeah, these coaches have done a terrific job, Ted, so far. You can really tell the fundamentals are good. This one's right straight up in the air, and a nice put away there on the catcher's part as Andrew Faulkner now is behind the plate. He started out at first base. Now he's catching, and those are key plays right there, Ted. You know, right to him. He did a nice job and held on to his mask, if you saw there. Didn't let that get in his way, and really concentrated and reeled that one in.
Well, as you saw on your excellent coverage here by our cameraman, that ball went straight up the shaft and came straight down. I don't think he had to take one step from his position. And Fusarelli is just throwing strikes. In fact, if he keeps throwing like that, we're taking him downtown in Comerica, and he can become the pitching coach over there because he's throwing nothing but strikes.
Right there, a nice knuckleball. This one's going to be trouble, and it's out of there. Nice play, terrific play. That was by Alex Bazzi, and you've already spoken about Alex, and he just did a great job right there keeping his concentration. And the pitcher looked like a knuckleball. You know, it was definitely didn't have much rotation on it, and it was up high, and boy, he really went fishing for it, did Owen Westfall, and grounded out. Nice play by the first baseman, Bazzi.
That ball's thrown past the first baseman on a ground ball to the shortstop. You know, you were talking about the knuckleball. He's just throwing strikes. He's doing the same thing here again. Another strike. We have a runner on a nice play by the shortstop. Bozzi couldn't stretch to pick it off, and he's safe at first. So.
Yeah, real nice play by the shortstop. Stayed down on the ball, Ted. Let the ball come right up to him. You know, just as he grows older as a player, he'll come up out of that position firing. You know, but still, once again, it was important to get the ball over and don't let that runner advance past first base if he's going to be there anyway.
There's a strike. This should be Dylan Harper. Is that what our information tells us?
That's what our information tells us. And
runner at first. Top of the second, Pirates batting, Tigers lead 1-0. Meek swing at that, and that should be strike 3. And once again, throwing strikes, Aiden Fucirelli. You know what? That's the key to pitching. No runs, no hits, an error, and the score still 1-0.
And that was an interesting swing there by Dylan Harper. I mean, he looked like he was being distracted for some reason, Ted, like there might have been some coaching going on or something, because he just sort of, the ball was almost by him, and he just swung at it rather meekly. So that leaves a runner stranded at first base for the Pirates in the top of the second inning. They have yet to score. The Tigers scored one in the bottom of the first to take a 1-0 lead here in this championship game, and they're going to have Alex Bozzi, A.J. Champagne, and Noah Balkowski is our scheduled 3 batters up this inning, Ted.
Vinny Harper's come out the field, and it looks like he's told the rest of his team, take the inning off. I'll just do it myself, because none of the other Pirates have ran out there. They're getting instruction from their coaches. Usually the pitcher's the last one out. But I think what they're doing here, there's a lot of lineup changes and a lot of position changes from inning to inning. And so the coaches, they have to do double duty. They have to explain in between innings where are you going to play this inning. And the only thing that was certain is that Mr. Hopper was going to pitch.
Yeah, and he did a nice job in that first inning. It was just that bullet down the third base line by
Jack
Swessing that really set the table there. Got a runner second, then he alertly took third base, and then it was a bang play at first though, and the call went to the runner, Ted, and that allowed the run to score, and that's where we are, 1-0 here in the bottom of the second inning.
Flags are blowing out there from center out to left. We have camera people on top of dugouts. We have camera people on top of clubhouses, or in front of clubhouses. We have one on top of a truck back here. And the good thing about it is they signed waivers, and if they get hurt, producer Dan York doesn't even have to visit them at the hospital. That's the wonderful thing.
Well, you know, Dan does a fabulous job. Cold water coming in, Ted. They're really taking care of us. You know, I signed a contract for this with Dan.
The catcher took that one. It was a high strike, and Bozzi swung at it, and everybody's going to go down to one knee as the catcher. I didn't see where he hit it, but he's in some kind of misery.
Yeah, he needs a few minutes right there to set himself. Catching was Owen Westfall. Like you said, the positions do change from inning to inning. We do our best to keep it on top of it. But Owen Westfall did do some catching there. So let's hope that Owen's going to be just fine.
Well, they're tending to Owen. We are sitting in an air-conditioned booth high atop the first baseline here at the beautiful state-of-the-art Moeller Stadium, and our hostess just came and brought us some ice-cold water, so we're appreciative of the accommodations here at Moeller Field. All right, we have a short pause here. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with this Moeller Field here with the Mustang Championship of Garden City.
Incorporate Marketing is the official apparel provider of Omni-Edition Sports, located on Middle Belt Road just across from Garden City High School. Incorporate carries an incredible variety of Garden City Cougar apparel and swag. They also feature Garden City East and West gear and are your source for silk screening and embroidery. Owned by third-generation Garden City resident Jim Neave, Incorporate can help you design the perfect look for your company or event. Visit their website at incorporategraphics.com.
Back to Muller Field here, Omni Edition Sports, bringing you the Mustang Championship from the Garden City GCYAA League. The Pirates are on the field. They trail 1-0. Tigers at bat. We just had an injury to Owen Westfield, and he got hit high in the arm and the shoulder with a ball. And Isaac Ferraro is going to put the tools of ignorance on and get behind the plate there.
I think this is Jeremy Pilch, number 8, behind the plate. As,
Pilch?
Yeah, Bozzi steps back in again. It's been a long time in between pitches, and Bozzi takes a strike. Yeah, Owen Westfall over there. Looks like he's going to be okay. He's shaking it off. He does have a bag of ice on it. Looks like he got him right in the upper forearm, Ted. Oh.
Bozzi swung at one right at the bill of his cap, and he strikes out.
Bozzi's swing and strike out, and that should bring up A.J. Champagne.
We have plenty of bio notes here on all these players here, and we'll get to them through the course of the game. A.J.'s 9 years old, loves math, goes to Douglas. Bounces one up there from Hopper. And you know what? This is what I really like to see. A.J.'s in the Honor Society.
All right. So he's got all kinds of directions he can head in life. Sports star, and he's bright.
Well, he's got things going right if he's a scholar athlete. Over his head, he's going to walk, and there's the first walk of the game. A.J., he knows the strike zone.
Yes, he does. We've seen a lot of batters that have really gone after that high pitch. In this case right here, A.J. laid off of it and got himself a walk. He's on first base, and this should be Noel Bukowski.
Well, I'm reading this here. There's an I in there. That's Belikowski, probably.
Oh, Belikowski, okay.
Yeah, he's only in third, goes to St. Linus. Likes math and computers. Oh, I want to... Noah's a chess player.
He's waved at a couple of them there, Ted. He's not catching up right now as Minnie Hopper is bringing some heat to this batter.
Ball outside. That looked close. Yeah. We have a runner at first. The Tigers are leading 1-0. They have a runner at first here in the bottom of the second. There's another ball. You know what? This... Noah's shown a lot of patience at the plate here. Been a lot more selective than most of the hitters so far today.
There's another one right up over his head that time, Ted. So now he's got him in a good 3-2 count. The count is full. Runner at first. You know, one out here in the bottom of the second inning. And he stood there and watched that one go by. A call, strike 3 on Noel Balikowski. This should be Brandon Labine.
9-year-old, or 10-year-old actually, goes to Tipton. He's a swimmer, baseball and football player. He ran a Martian marathon, whatever that is. That's like 2,600 miles, isn't it? And he got a medal. And he's not tired to play here today.
Well, I think they did that out in Roswell, New Mexico, is where the Martian relay is.
I don't know what it is, but it seemed to be about 20. Just a little bit high.
Yeah, and you know, he's just starting to throw it high, Ted. You know, he's been really doing well. A little kick motion.
He's actually got to bend in a little bit. He's a little upright when he's pitching. There's a second walk, so we have 2 runners on, 2 outs, and nobody has touched the ball yet. 2 strikeouts, 2 walks.
This should be Simon Bloomfield.
They're not hitting Hopper. He's just got to bring the ball across the plate. We have a break in the action as the coach is up there. Marshall Upper Elementary. That's where Simon goes to school.
So he likes math and gym. That's an interesting combination. Not too many kids like math.
Well, don't mess with Simon. He's one step away from his black belt in Tang Soo Do Karate.
Whoa.
And he's a boring student. He's straight A's.
And it's held back on that one. So 1 ball, 1 strike on him here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Tigers up 1-0. They're threatening again.
That's high. Hopper's kind of lost his strike zone here.
Yeah, he hasn't really gone to a stretch or anything with the runners on.
Swing and a miss. He basically has to bend in a little more. When he stands up straight and his release point is high, the ball's not bending in there. But when he gets a little follow through, right back to Hopper. He's got the ball, tosses it over to first base, and that's the 3rd out. So he gives up 2 walks, strikes out 2, and finally gets the batter to hit the ball back to him. So he was in charge, large and in charge in that inning.
Absolutely. Once again, a really terrific job. He went down in the fielding position. Ted brought it up, get up, set himself a little bit, then did a nice thing, walked over to first base, and then just made a nice little easy toss over to Isaac Ferrero to put the runner out. Bloomfield was doing all he could to charge down there, but just not enough.
Tigers are taking the field here. The top of the 3rd. This game's going right along. Yeah, we haven't mentioned too many things about the Pirates here, so we'll get their sheet out here. Who's the first one scheduled here? Chris?
We've got Chris and then Evan Portner, and then the top of the order. So we're going to see who gets up here.
All right, Chris doesn't have
Just
a bio
second
sheet,
here.
so
We're
we'll
gonna
just talk baseball when he bats.
Well, and it's going to be number 7 there for them, and that's James Jackson. But
maybe James. Are they batting around, or are they actually going to just do substitution? We were told they bat around, but James Jackson's already batted in the 1st inning.
yeah, and I didn't see the leadoff man who bats in front of him is Maverick Slavin. So maybe James was just out there swinging some lumber, Ted. He was just getting ready. We'll find out. We'll do our best here, fans and parents and family members and other relatives.
Beautiful day for baseball. Let's play 2 today. The Omni Edition crew out here early today, setting up all the equipment. Our monitor is Evans on the camera right there. We want to thank him, and there's Jason Merrill.
Yeah, and this is going to be Evan Portner, and we do have a bio on Evan.
I got Spencer Fraunfelter.
All right, Spence. Great crew. Everybody just has a great time when we come out here, Ted. That's why we love coming out here, and we get here early, and there's a lot of conversation.
Speak for yourself. I just come for the free T-shirt. So,
This is Chris Campanella, and he swings at the first one.
Chris, if you're keeping score at home, we're in batting position 10 and 11 and 1 this inning as everybody bats around. Chris. Doing business there, wide stance, staring at the pitcher. And we got a new pitcher, number 4 has snuck in. And do you have a number 4?
Yes, we do.
This is Jack Swessing.
Swessing has the big hit of this game. He got that line drive double down the 3rd base line and ended up coming in to score the game's only run. Now he's going to try his hand at the pitching mound.
Throws a strike.
Dropped that one right in there, Ted. That was a nice setup job. He'd been throwing the hard stuff at Campanelli and then just dropped in a nice curve ball.
He took a little off of that one. Same pitch again. He says that worked. I'm going to do it again, and he strikes out Chris. Is this Evan Portner?
This is Evan.
Third grader, Fred Douglas. Schlesing bounces one up there. Diane and Danny are the parents.
Got a dog named Boo. Me and you, and a dog named, yeah.
Yeah. There's a shot right back at Schlesing. He catches that one. 2 outs.
This will bring up Maverick Slavin, number 2.
Slavin was safe on a error in the first base. Third baseman wound up at third base, and that's where he got stranded. Green bat back to third base, and touched in the foul territory. As that one hugged the line and then went foul.
And he scampers down the line. So that has a tendency to put a lot of pressure, you know, when you're a defender out there. When you know a guy's really going to be hustling down there, that means you got to come up quick and come up throwing. Maverick Slavin. I gave him credit for a single, Ted. I was a little bit more.
Right back, same play right back at Schlesing, and he caught that one. And 3 up, 3 down, easy inning, a strikeout. Pitcher once again taking care of all the outs in that inning. And 2 line drives right back to the pitcher, and he made it look easy. Looked like an instant replay.
Yeah, he's in his follow-through, Ted, and the ball's coming right back at him. So, once again, it's a very impressive, our up-close and personal look here at the fundamental baseball that we're seeing. It is a championship game, and you would expect to see that. But, you know, once again, these coaches have done a really great job of stressing fundamentals, so we've seen it really on display throughout this whole game.
Nate York is in the house and working hard. I want to tell you, it's a very warm day here, so these gentlemen have put in a few hours already before this game. We actually have the hard job because we have to come in late after all the gossip is done. We don't know what's going on, and then we're stuck sitting down for 6, 7 innings at a time. You know, we get tired and stiff, and
all these cold drinks coming at us. You know, I'm trying to.
It's tough being talent. You know, they don't. It's underrated. We got a replay here, and you see Schlesing pitching. Ball gets lined to his pitching hand, so he has to reach across his body and catch it. And he did that twice last inning, and he made it look easy.
Right, and you see just once again how, you know, his follow-through didn't have him off balance or anything like that. He was right in position to make the play, and that's what he did. And I think we're going to have now we're going to have a new catcher in there. This one's going to be number 5, and that's going to be Vinny Hopper.
Hopper leaves the mound and heads back behind the plate.
And Jeremy Pilch is going to take the mound for the Pirates. Jeremy started out at shortstop, and then he came in to catch when Owen Westfall, and we're going to check on Owen here as this inning. You see Owen still on the bench with the ice pack on him on that forearm. And then we're going to have back behind the plate is Vinny Hopper, who started out the game pitching.
We did not check with the league commissioner, and we are we don't know the exact rulings, but at this age they always have a pitching count usually in these leagues, and this has been a tournament, so I wonder if the many pitchers we'll see today will be because of the pitching count. I know this is not Washington State where a kid can throw 189 pitches. And then, you know, the worst part about that, he went and caught after that, and the catcher who caught and threw the ball back 189 times went to the mound and started pitching.
Okay. A rubber arm. At that age, I'm sure you would have. You
and I have the pleasure and privilege of calling 15 to 20 games a year for the Junior League World Series out of Taylor, and they're very cognizant of pitching counts and that. And they can't pitch more than 95 pitches, and if they do, then they have to take 2 days off or 3. It's very, you know, they really watch the pitching count, and that's 13 and 14-year-olds.
Yeah, and I know they're doing it in the Little League World Series too, real cognizant of pitching counts.
My score sheet says Andrew. Is it Nevin Gale?
Yes, this should be Nevin Gale leading off, and he'd be followed by Don Schendel, and then the leadoff order of Aiden Fusarelli.
Nevin Gale, he loves art.
Nevin Gale, artistic. As Pilch into a nice full windup, and then he has that stop or that hesitation right there, Ted. Just enough sometimes to kind of throw off your rhythm, and it's a nice stare down. I like the way Nevin Gale, he's got a nice stare down at that pitcher.
By the way, Nevin's a guy you might want to hang around with. His hobby, coin collecting.
Probably got started with those quarters. Remember they had the quarters out,
yeah.
The state quarters, and they had the books that you could put them in, and they timed released them, and
ball over his head there as he's ahead of the pitcher right now. Nevin is the 10th batter. Once again, we remind you, everybody bats. Backs away from that one, and it comes over. Catcher throws that one into center field.
Yeah, we haven't seen that too often. You know, that's one of those things that starts slowing down the game. It could be the heat now is starting to affect the players. You know, as we're getting into the third inning, Ted, and there, you know, it's just a glorious, beautiful day out there, a nice breeze, but still the sun is really pounding down on these young boys.
There's a ball outside. I think that's the...
So it's going to be the leadoff walk as Nevin Gale did a terrific job. Stared down Pilch the whole way, the whole at bat, and kind of intimidated him a little bit and drew a walk. Now we're going to see Pilch go from a stretch position.
Schendel is the batter.
Donovan, we call him Don.
Ball's over his head. Now this is my kind of guy. Don is a member of the Douglas School, Elementary School, and his favorite two classes, gym and recess. That's my kind of guy. Too bad I'll be long gone, so I can't party for him with him when he's older.
I think I was straight A's in recess myself.
You know, they caught me awake one time in recess, and I lowered my grade down to a B.
Well, here he is now back to the straight stretch. Their full windup now is Pilch. He started working from the stretch, and now he's going to be more comfortable just with a full-blown windup here.
That ball came right over his knees, and Donovan took a look at the umpire and said, you know, like, are you sure? Runner's going down to second. They can advance on a pass ball.
Ooh.
He took his time getting there, and he was almost thrown out. As the ex-pitcher, Hopper, rifled one down to second base, and Gale was almost surprised.
Yeah, that was Aiden Jacobs, the shortstop, who grabbed that, and it was almost like he stopped running.
Yeah.
You know, like he thought he had it in there, so it was a nice throw by our catcher, and almost got him out. Aiden Jacobs did a swinging tag, and he just dropped the ball, or the umpire might have given him the out signal.
Pilch dropped that ball across the knees, and there's a strikeout. Foul ball hit halfway between home and third, and it's touched, and it will be foul. Runner at second here. The Tigers leading 1-0 here, threatening to add to there. This has been a pretty well-played game. Not a lot of runs.
And there he gets all of that one. That was
drops in front of the right center fielder. The runner will move to third, but a nice hit as he tomahawked that one over his head.
Fusarelli, yes, he found one. We've seen a lot of them go for that high pitch today, Ted, without any success. And that time, Fusarelli, I think you nailed it, tomahawked it right in the no man's land out there, right over the shortstop and in front of the left center fielder. As you said, there's 4 outfielders.
Ball over the bill of the cap. I think you're calling it. If it's over the bill, it's a ball. But if it's right even with the bill, it's a strike.
Here's Sesswing. He hit that double, that laser down the third base line, and been the key hit of this game so far. Ended up scoring. It was a double, and then he went to third aggressively, and then came home.
The runner will move on the pass ball. Oh, the second baseman! What did he do? He pushed him down, or they ran into each other?
They ran into each other. What it was, the second baseman really didn't even see him or feel him coming. As Fusarelli says, hey, wait a minute, you're in the baseline, and this is my base.
Swessing lets another one pass. It looked after the first two pitches that they didn't want to bring the ball anywhere near him because of the shot he hit his first at bat, but now it's 2-2, and two runners are in scoring position.
One out. There he goes. Now he's swinging at it.
Fouling that one off. You did tell both teams that if any of them can hit one of our cameramen, it's
double bonus point.
Bonus.
Yep, double bonus today.
Dan will take him for Sundays after 8 o'clock at Sonic. There's a ball outside.
Oh yeah, they've got some great milkshakes there.
Oh, it's half price after.
Still get a milkshake. I got one of those banana cream pie ones.
First base is open. Runners at second and third. Swessing 3-2 count, and he hits one in the air. Shortstop center.
Trouble.
Falls in between three players. One run is in. Here comes the second run. Swessing in a rundown as he's going back to first. Slides, and he saved.
Swessing really was aggressive on that. What a nice reached out on a 2-strike count right there, and really just put that one once again in no man's land. 3 Pirates converged on the ball, and they couldn't get it. Then they came up, and Swessing was out there really in no man's land, and they waited just a little too long right there, Ted, in the rundown situation.
You know what I think about, and I don't know Mr. Swessing at all, but I want to tell you, he played that the way the major leagues play it. He rounded first, and he got himself caught up between first and second, and they paid attention here. Watch the rundown here. And he gets caught up allowing the second runner to score. He is sacrificing himself, and he slides under at first save. So
yeah, right there. You just see how he was really almost to second base. He was a lot closer to second than he was to first when they realized that they might have had him. And sometimes they wait just a little too long, and he slid right up underneath the tag.
That's a classic baseball play. Hanging yourself up, forcing the infield to go for you, and allowing the run to score.
Now this is the batter that I think that we missed the first time around, Ted, so we're going to have to pay a little closer attention to find out who this is.
He looks like Faulkner.
It looks like him. Maybe they snuck somebody in on us in that first inning. And that is Faulkner.
Hopper to the third baseman. He picks it up. The long throw. It's wide. Swessing is going to third. He's rounding third. He's coming home. We might have a play at the plate. He's going to be safe, and the runner is going to wind up at third. Now he's coming home, and he is going to take the plate. And, Phil, you are going to score that.
Well, there's something happened out here. The coach is going to stop it right there because something happened over in the fence area, and there was a lot of trouble picking the ball up. You know, it was a ground ball to third. Terrific job by the third baseman. Made a nice play on it. And then when he came to throw it, Ted, he just realized that Faulkner was really coming down the line and then threw it way over the first baseman's head. And that started almost a comedy of errors right there.
Swessing never stopped.
Never stopped running. Excellent job of coaching over there and sending the runners. You know, in other words, send them and we'll sort it out later. And it ends up scoring.
Go, Aaron, go! Ground ball rolling to first, the tag at the bag, and there's an out. Second out of the inning, unassisted to first base. And that was Bucko.
Bucko, yes. So now we're right back to the lineup, but I know they snuck somebody in on us in that first inning. So Bucko grounds out for out number 2.
Number 10.
Yeah, Aaron Bucko, he grounded out.
Oh, is he 10?
Yep. This should be Donnie Banks, number 7. Somehow in that first inning. So on that play, great play by the third baseman. We'll start with him. He made an overthrow at first, though, Ted, and then something happened from there. It was just all moving because Faulkner was another one who never stopped running at all. And he went to second rather easily. Then they came up with the ball. The right fielder threw it at third, and by then Faulkner was on his way home.
Ground to third base. The throw. He's safe.
Beats it out.
So another runner in. So we've had a walk and 4 singles, and we have a second trip to the mound. This might be all for our pitcher. And yes, sirree, Sparky came out and grabbed the ball.
And this is going to be the third baseman coming in right now. Number 2. Looks like that's going to be Maverick Slavin coming in.
And he ran over to first. He's anxious to pitch. Once again, let's remind you here is a score unofficially. I think it's 5-0 right now. The Tigers versus the Pirates. These two teams are the survivors of the round robin Garden City only 9 and 10-year-old Mustang championship. These kids have played all weekend, a lot of games. This is their 4th game this weekend. And both of these teams are the survivors, and this is the championship game. So GCTV Omni Edition Sports out in full force. We're going to do 2 games today. I'm Ted Fournier along with Phil Henry, and we're just having the time of our life right now.
Yeah, this is Mustang action. The second game is going to be the Bronco League. Good to see the championship game for the Bronco League. And like you said, it's 5-0 right now with the Tigers up front. And there's 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. And a lot of this started with just 1 out. The leadoff walk, you know, how many times you see that, Ted, where you walk that leadoff batter and that's nothing but trouble from there. And then that brought up the leadoff batter, and Fusarelli did a terrific job singling, moving runners to first and third. And then, of course, that brought up Jack Seswing. Seswing has been the hitting hero of the day. He got that nice double and scored the first run. And this time right here with a hustle play down to second, runners at second and third, and basically a 2-strike count on him. He rifled a single out there, a pop-up that actually fell between a couple of the Pirates. They were unable to corral it when it was in the air, and that brought in 2 runs.
Mr. Bozzi should be the batter up there. We got a stolen base. The ball gets past the shortstop, no advance. There's no really a steal, but if the catcher drops a ball or it's a pass ball, the runners can advance. You keep calling Mr. Sweshning. I'm thinking about it one more time. We're going for Chinese here after the game.
Nice swing by Bozzi. Second baseman reels it in.
He's
yes.
out at first, the runner
wow.
comes. That's 3 outs. A little ground ball to the second baseman. He stopped it, fell in front of his glove, picked it up, and threw the runner out. So they score 4, and the score is 5-0 at the end of 3. Tigers. We should be 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. Here's the last out. You see the second baseman
knocked it down, stayed on it. And then what a bang play right there at first, Ted. And the umpire was down at second for the call on it. And I think he made the right call right there. It looked, sometimes they'll say tie goes to the runner, but in this case right here, there was a great play by the second baseman. You want to reward that too.
Well, I'll tell you why I know it was the right call. For one reason, the coaches didn't come out and request instant replay to see if that plays out. The question I have for you this year, Phil, is anybody ever going to be thrown out at second base? It seems like anytime, buddy. If I were the major league player, I'm just stealing, because they're going to call you out and then they're going to watch instant replay and you'll be safe. We have games, softball games going on Diamond 1.
Well, this is part of a complex out here, Ted, and you know what a day this is. We just had a game over there. We got the girls going on, girls softball going on over at one of the other diamonds. Then out in the out in our foreground there, we can see a pickup basketball game going on. Got some guys over here on rollerblades with a little slap shot action happening right in front of us also. Beautiful, gorgeous day, well attended. You know, you got to park in the streets. We got a concession stand, souvenirs for this day. Some great coaching and, you know, two really good teams going at each other here. And right now the Tigers, just with that 4 spot they put on, lead 5-0 heading into the top of the 4th inning. And we're going to have James Jackson, Vinny Hopper, and Jeremy Pilch are the second, third, and fourth batters in the lineup, and they're going to be 1, 2, and 3 in this inning.
Jackson popped out to the first baseman his first time, pitcher the first time. Second pitch of the game, he was swinging. And we're ready. Jackson steps in, wagging the bat behind his back, left-handed hitter. And here's the pitch. He swings. Jackson looks like a player that has yet to see a pitch he didn't like.
Sometimes those left-handed batters can give the pitcher a little bit of problems. They're not used to seeing them, Ted, and they might have a little bit of a advantage. Seshwing, and I just
I'm telling you,
I'm gonna have you out for some Szechuan chicken. I knew going in that one of those names was gonna give me problems. It's gonna be this one. I'm very apologetic.
Well, I've had practice. His older sisters played basketball for me, and in the 2 years that she played, I used her last name twice, both at the award ceremony.
Swessing. Kicks
Hopper,
back.
Right?
Yep, kicks back Vinny Hopper, another left-handed batter.
That's just a cool name, Vinny Hopper.
Vinny's been all around the diamond today. He's had a little stint at catcher, been on the mound. Shortstop reaches out and puts that one out there, and he might be taking the big turn, Ted. He's going to, and nice play out there in center field. Nice hustle play to hold it to a base hit. With one out here in the top of the 4th inning right now, this is so far the best threat for the Pirates.
Mr. Hopper on first base.
Donnie Banks, I believe, behind the plate.
Jeremy Pilch.
Pilch at the plate, swinging, and Banks behind it. Real important right now with the behind there swing, and nice play by the catcher. You know, that one pulled that one out of the dirt. Very important to keep that runner at first base as best you can at this point, Ted. Keep these Pirates off the scoreboard if you're a Tiger fan.
Well, that was higher on the bill, and he ducked out of that way. You were talking about the large crowd here, and one of the reasons there's a large crowd here is Jeremy's brought his family. He's got his 4 brothers and his sister and his mom, April and Bob, so that accounts for most of the crowd. And he hits that one. That one's going to go all the way
off
to
the wall.
Off the wall. 1 run will score. He's going to second. He's going to round second, heading to third. The ball is being run around the outfield, and he'll slide in safely at third. No throw, as he tattooed that one off the wall in left center field.
Absolutely, just blasted that one, and it carried Ritt to the deepest part of the ballpark back there, Ted. Ricocheted off the wall, and a terrific job to keep him at third base, and that's not going to last long. That one's a base hit right on the chalk line as Isaac Ferraro singles, and he's running
to third, back to back, and he's going to be safe at third. 2 pitchers just tattooed. Back-to-back triples, and we have a ball game. It's 5-2.
5-2 here in the top of the 4th inning, as the cleanup part of the order has really done some serious damage for the Pirates. And this is Aiden Jacobs at the plate with a runner at third, and he reaches out and gets that one, and it's going to be a tag up.
And nice catch.
Oh, it was a nice catch, and he was tagging up. And a very late sacrifice fly. We're going to give him credit for a sacrifice fly, Ted, but he was tagging up, and then all of a sudden he drifted off, and it was a great catch out there.
The number one mistake, get the ball back in the infield, and they caught the ball and took 2 or 3 steps with it, and we're running it back in, and you got to throw it back in.
Yeah, at least run it back to the pitcher's mound to where you can keep that runner at third. You've got to know where that runner is a swing and a miss. So that was a very effective out, a pop out, if you will, but it does get a run home, and now it makes it a 5-3 ball game here in the top of the 4th inning. So don't go away. This one right here is going to have the makings of a...
Is Owen coming off the bench here and batting again? Owen was hurt. Westfall was hurt, and this is his position.
I'll look over there and see. Gonna have a confab at the mound.
It's 5-3, a single, 2 triples, and a sacrifice fly, and
that is Owen Westfall is back into the game. It's good to see that, Ted. He took one behind. He was behind the plate, and he took one off the arm, off the right forearm. He did. Spent a couple innings with a nice pack on it, and he's now back out there.
Marcia and Todd's son. Third base, a throw, save.
Beats it out.
And no doubt about that one, as the umpire was right on the base.
Yeah, that's that hustle down the line right there. Once again, you can't fault the fielders, Ted. They're doing a terrific job keeping the ball in front of them. You know, they're just not quite with that timing of coming up throwing, so to speak. And that's going to be an interesting call there, as Nick Mason gonna be called a strike. He waved at that one.
Here's, you see the play to third baseman, and the problem was, instead of it was more of an arch throw, and that took a long time to get there.
Absolutely. And once again, the hustle down the line as this little pop-up is going to be grabbed for out number 3, but he's going to complete the double play, so just in case.
Well, the great thing about it, there were 4 hits that inning, 3 runs, a sacrifice fly, and the game is now 5-3 in favor of the Tigers. And we were almost going to have a blowout, but the Pirates are fighting back.
Yeah, definitely. Pirates are definitely in the board, and you felt, you know, they're right here to our immediate left, Ted, and just that one that came off the fence, that was that rocket shot that Pilch hit that came off the fence really ignited this whole team all the way around. So this game is really going to get interesting from this point forward.
You know, I'm going to mention some names here, and it's going to sound like the players, but the coaches under Vinnie Hopper, the manager, Todd Westfall, James Jackson, and James Harper are for the Pirates.
Well, you know, you want to stop for a second there before you announce the other ones and just say these guys, you know, really give up a lot of their time, Ted, and their product on the field really shows. They're taking 9 and 10-year-olds. Some of these kids, this may be their first year of baseball, Ted. Others, we can tell, have been in the leagues for a little while, and they're just doing a great job. Probably a lot of hard nights and weekends, and really, it really shows in the fundamentals that these kids are playing. They should all hold their heads up. They've done a great job to get to this championship game.
Tigers are led by Al Bucco, Simon Bloomfield, and Andy Faulkner. And one thing, parents, especially those that have coaches, know that, you know, you coach the kids, you practice with the kids, but then you go home and you think about it. You think about it on the way to work, and if you're really talented, you think it instead of working. But the whole line is, it's not just the 2 hours a night that these coaches, they're always saying, what can I do? What drills can I do? What should I teach them next? What haven't I teach them? And after the game, you beat yourself up saying, I should have worked on this. And that's what these guys are doing on a daily basis. So you got to thank these guys It's all of them throughout the league, not just these two teams.
Oh, absolutely. And then, like you said, that constant mind thought going on, like what player should be at what position. And, so now here's that culmination of the whole year's worth of work right here in the championship game. And, that just speaks for all the coaches that were in this tournament.
It's a Champagne, and he's second base. Nice, clean play. That was A.J. Champagne grounding that one out to second, and we have one down. Bottom of the fourth, Tigers leading by 2. But as we saw last inning, anything is possible and will happen here.
This should be Balakowski on, and he swings and misses at the first one. Noah struck out his first time up, and that's number 2 out there, Maverick Slavin.
Slavin, the shortest pitcher we've had today, but he's got a lot of confidence, and he's throwing strikes, working out of the stretch. Little kick, so strike 2.
Yeah.
And what you just saw, it reminds me of when I was a kid. A guy by the name was Charles Losey, who taught me baseball. When I caught, if I didn't get the ball back to the pitcher, I was running laps.
Well, it's part of the rhythm of the game.
Yeah.
That pitcher out there, he's concentrating on everything that he's doing. He might be setting batters up, the where he's trying to go inside, outside, high and low. And, now all of a sudden he's got to stretch and jump and leap, and the ball goes by him, breaks a little rhythm out there.
That's what he would say. You don't make the pitcher work. I can hear him, and that was 40 years ago, maybe more. Right, nice two-hopper to the second baseman, the pick, the throw, and he's out. Back-to-back ground balls to second base.
Yeah, Balakowski did a nice job, got some good lumber on that one, and once again, second baseman went down with the ball. It was really like a line drive that bounced in front of him, Ted. Played the ball real well, and then came up and just made a nice sure throw over to first base. And some of the key positions, are having a first baseman that's a big target. For some of these throws that we've seen, especially from the third baseman, they have to really, really bring the ball. And then, of course, catcher, to me, I think is another key position.
There's a strike.
There's a strike.
Right. Brandon Labine is your batter. Brandon was safe on a hit. His first at bat goes to Tipton, and he's the gentleman that ran that Martian Marathon that we have to find out about. Ball hits the plate. We have nobody on the bases. Infield at regular depth. 4 outfielders. We have a left and right center fielders in this game.
Yep, and
strike. Labine backed out away from that, and the umpire still called it a strike. And then that was it, right along the side, the bill, like you were calling it the first inning. The bill to the shoelaces. Umpires do that on a hot day. Labine ballets out of that one. Kind of did that wasn't a pirouette. That was something or other. But
yeah, Slavin out there having a lot of extra duty, just trying to reel in the throw from the catcher. He likes to work that, likes to work in a stretch position, Ted.
Launches that one over the head of Labine, and Labine is on base for the second time today.
Good eye at the plate for Brandon.
Simon Bloomfield.
Probably learn a little bit about that in that Martian marathon. Bloomfield grounded out his first time up. Staring down Slavin.
One of the things Simon is proud of is he earned the Arrow of Light from this Cub Scout troop. He's happy to be a Boy Scout, Cub Scout, and great things happen to those young men.
Yeah, maybe on his way to becoming an Eagle Scout if he joins the Boy Scouts and continues on. That's a great accomplishment for a young man, Eagle Scout.
Nice grab by my shortstop, Phil Henry, as my score sheet went flying.
Yeah, reflexes like cat-like. It was just cat-like reflexes there, Ted. We've got a nice swirling breeze today. Still blowing from right to left.
Popped that one up, hit into the net, and to give it chase.
As soon as it hits that netting, it's pretty much a foul ball at that point.
Dead ball at that
time.
time.
Dead ball. Nice hustle job by the catcher for the Pirates.
Runner at first. Can't get a lead off because of the rules. Slabbing into the windup, throws it, and swung after the catcher caught that one, and that's the third out. So he walked a batter. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left on base. We have a 5-3 game here.
5-3 heading into the 5th inning. And the Tigers, let's see how they're going to hold off these Pirates after that last inning. The Pirates are coming back to the plate, Ted, and they've got a lot of energy, enthusiasm. You can see it just in their little huddle right there. They've got their heads up, and they're ready to make some things happen.
Well, you called it when Pilch put a dent in the fence out there in left center. That energized the whole team, and another triple and a sacrifice fly. And all of a sudden, they're only 2 down. And the only problem is now when you get to the 5th inning, you start running out of outs. So we have a new pitcher, big, tall, strong. I think the biggest kid that we've seen today on the mound, number 10.
Aaron Bucko. Aaron Bucko, he's a cleanup batter for the Tigers. Started out the game behind the plate. So like many of these players, seeing a lot of double and triple duty out there in the field.
Well, usually you see your top athletes in short pitching and catching and at this age. And I've always been an advocate because sometimes you get these big, tall, strong pitchers that can really bring it. That I actually wanted my right fielders, shorts, and second baseman to be my better players because these guys can't get around on them. But that's just me. But Bucko looks like he can bring it. The question is, can you bring it? Can you bring it across the plate? We'll see here in a couple seconds. Let's see the lineup here. Should be Harper,
Dylan Harper, and then Chris Capitelli.
And Evan
Portner.
Your 9, 10, and 11 hitters in the lineup. That's the real bottom of the order, and you find how many championship games the bottom of the order, you're Bucky Dents.
Mm-hmm.
You do damage. So what they need is they need a base runner. Put the tying run at the plate here. It's 5-3. Mustang Championship brought to you by Omni Edition Sports. 30 years of bringing Garden City the finest in local television, and I cannot understate the word finest. Quality program, great crew, more than adequate director and producer, and we're happy to be here. We may not be here later, but we're happy right now.
And stepping in, Dylan Harper. He's in the 9th position, and he'll be leading off the top of the 5th inning here for the Pirates to see if they can build on the momentum of that 3-run 4th that got them back into this one. 5-3. The Tigers, they're out in the field, and they are in the lead in this championship ball game. Mustang League championship game. 2 very evenly matched teams up to this point, Ted.
Kind of gave a half swing. Dylan, a millennium child, loves baseball, loves video game.
All right.
A child of his times. There's a strike across the knees. Dylan's got a sister, Jordan, and Tara and James as his parents. And he stood there and looked at that one, and he struck out. And now Chris
Capitelli,
his second at bat. He struck out his first at bat. And Bucko's
throwing some smoke right now. He's just bringing it right to the heart of the plate.
This is a big inning. If he can hold them 1, 2, 3, no runs, that's inside.
Well, in looking at that, if he does hold them, then you're looking at, for the 6th inning, you'd be looking at the Murders Row part of the Pirates lineup.
Hey, swung a little late on that one. There's a strike. Didn't move his feet on that one. He just used upper body on his swing. Plant that back leg and step at the ball and drill it somewhere. Interrupt that basketball game out there in center field.
Yeah, we got to have a few more science majors, you know, out there. You know, the science of hitting the baseball. You know, the inertia of the pitched object and swinging the bat and connecting with it and changing its direction.
Well, he's got a wide stance, and he's checking out Buck. And there's one across the knee, and he stood and struck out. So 2 strikeouts, and Evan Portner is going to step up.
Portner flied out, you know, his only at-bats. You got some facts on Evan?
Yeah, he's the gentleman with the dog named Boo. Ball. And we're kind of dating ourselves there, Phil. Was that early 70s? This gentleman loves gym class. He backed away from that one.
He looks like a dodgeball kind of kid to me, you know. Remember the dodgeball? How you always had that one kid that you just always had that rifle arm, and you know, he looks like he's a dodgeball player there in gym class. He took one behind him, Aaron Bucko.
Swing and a miss. Bucko actually rocks on the rubber there. You'll see he rocks back and then gets his energy. But he's a big kid that's pitched for the Tigers, and maybe that's part of the strategy. Maybe he's their Aurelia Lopez or
Senior Smoke.
Senior Smoke coming in here. He's definitely not Nathan because he hasn't put 3 guys on base yet.
And his hat's on straight, so he's not Fernando Rodney.
You're kind of wondering, you know. Two outs, nobody on the base here. Bucko rocks. And he walks the batter.
Portner walks.
Evan walked him. So there, anytime we could have runner at first, the tying runs now at home plate. The top of the order, Maverick Slavin, who's been pitching among other duties today.
Slavin's got that green bat, and he's really put it to use today. He got a base hit leading this game off, and then he hit a rocket shot that turned into a line out his last time at bat. But as a leadoff batter, he's fearless up there, Ted. He stands way back in the batter's box, and he gets a nice swing, and that one's going to fall in.
Into left field, so the runners will move up one base. Everybody's going to be safe. Back-to-back base runners. Now the tying runs at first base. And the go-ahead run is standing at the plate.
In the form of left-hand batting James Jackson. Now, this is the first left-hander that Bucko's going to see, and sometimes that's just enough to throw him off a little bit. Standing deep in the batter's box is James Jackson. He's popped out and struck out on the day. In the on-deck circle comes Vinny Hopper, and he goes for a bunt.
Well, you know what? The key here is at this age is you can make contact and make them field the ball. Anything could happen, and so.
Well, I thought maybe Brad Osmus came in here and was managing. Guest manager for the inning. There's a strike. Now he's in a hole right now. Jackson looks over for direction. Jackson started the game out behind the plate. I'm sure he's moved around since then. Nice rock by Bucko, up high.
Jackson goes to St. Matthew's Lutheran. He loves to read. He loves English. Hillary and James' son, and he gets all A's and B's.
He's so far back in the batter's box, it's caused the catcher and umpire to move, Ted. And he swings and miss.
So 2 runners on, and a big inning-ending strikeout, and we have played 4.5, and it's 5-3. But that's going to bring up in the important 6th inning, 5, 6, and 7, Hopper, Pilch, and Ferraro, and they all got base hits the last time at bat. They'll come up with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see. You know, we don't follow these teams a lot to know if Bucko is the stop. You know, he's the stopper out there on the mound. But I'm sure that the coach has worked himself into the position where he's got his best horses still in the bullpen if he happens to need them. Right here, he's holding on to a 2-run lead, and I'm talking about the Tigers at this point. They're ahead 5-3, and we're getting in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tigers going to be looking. This is the game within the game, Ted. This is where it really gets exciting. And this is where it really gets exciting because the Tigers want to come up now and they want to add to their 5-3 lead, and the Pirates right now are going to be wanting just the opposite, to hold them to get to that meat of their lineup.
The Tigers can put a couple runners on, score a couple runners, that kind of will demoralize. But the Pirates are in the field, and we're going to have something we haven't seen all day. It's a left-handed pitcher, number 9 is coming on the mound.
Isaac Ferraro.
Ferrero's the southpaw going to deliver, and looks like he's got a nice wind-up and delivery, so we'll see his offerings for the first time.
Yeah, he's been over on first base, Ted. You know, perfect first baseman. You know, you want to see that left-hander over there. He's got nice stature, and now he's going to come in on do some pitching. And just like I talked about how a left-handed batter can sometimes give a little trouble to the pitcher, we might see a situation where this left-handed pitcher can give some potential problems to the batters. So coming up this scheduled, Nevin Gale, Don Schindel, and then the top of the order, Aiden Fusarelli. Aiden Fusarelli.
Yeah, Aiden Fusarelli started the game pitching, did a fine job. I was just for a 9-10-year-old league, the strikes that he threw were just unbelievable.
Nevin Gale leading off this inning. He drew a walk and scored a run in that big the 4-run inning for the Tigers.
Just to remind you, we are at Bowler Field here in beautiful Garden City on probably one of the better days of the year if you are a Michigander. Nice breeze. We have a volunteer crew around the stadium. We've got the Omni Edition Sports roving studio sitting here right behind us. This is the Mustang Championship, 9 and 10-year-olds, just for Garden City teams. Now we remind you the GCYAA has been neighborly and brought in some Wayne and some Dearborn Heights teams, but this is the Garden City Championship. 83 degrees, a wind coming from right field to left, barometric pressure, come up with the numbers between 27 and 30.
It's low.
Low, okay. Probably be about 27.3 then, right?
I think so, right about there.
Doppler weather saying, oh, we were way off. It's in the 30s. There's a first offering from Ferraro, and did he call that a strike? Or
well, he used his counter with his right hand, so I'm not quite sure. But
not a really showy strike call by our home plate umpire. Here's another windup. That's outside. We'll remind you where our umpires are. And Mike Potter and Joe Kosbauer keeping this game in order, and there's been no controversy. They've done a fine job. When you don't remember the umpires, they're doing a great job. There's a ball high.
Isaac Ferraro coming in from first base now, and this is where we were before in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Ted. Nevin Gale was leading off and drew a walk and ended up the first run in. So there's a strike right there.
Gale takes a strike across the shoulders. Yeah, he scored the first run for the he scored the first run in that rally for the Tigers. And he called that outside, and once again he winds up on base drawing a walk.
Don Schindel up there, and He's playing for them Tigers, and what's a little bit about him?
Don's the guy we voted most likely to grow up to be Ted. He likes gym and recess. Nickname is Wheels because he's fast.
Well,
You
then.
got to see him running it. Yeah, he'll never be Ted. Ted couldn't catch him now. With a car.
Well, we're
There's a ball.
that's a strike. Yep, he called it there.
That nicked his socks on the way by.
1 ball, 2 strikes now, the count on Schindel.
He likes video games too.
Yeah, we want to see his speed on display here as he kicks back from that one. And there's a runner who looked like he needs to get in. Oh.
He was not sure he should have been running, and he ran meekly down to second. He didn't go down there aggressive, and they almost threw him out.
Wow, and I think if he would have held onto the ball down there, I think the umpire was poised to call him out too, but the throw got by the shortstop. And a safe as second is Nevin Gale.
One of the more interesting things about Donovan is he's got a twin sister, Justina. Always great to be a twin.
There he is. He struck out. Second time for Donovan Schindel. He had a nice pitch to a boy. I'll tell you, Isaac Ferrera really reared back on that one, Ted, and was bringing some serious heat. Just outmatched Schindel. Now that brings up the top of the order, Aiden Fusarelli. Fusarelli is a great leadoff hitter. He's had a single and scored a run in that 4-run third. Comes in swinging, started out the game on the mound. All-purpose player for the Tigers.
Christine and Ray are his parents, and he goes to Wildwood. He swings and misses at the second one.
And Ferraro starting to find himself now.
We were talking about athletic kids. He's the pitcher, he's a shortstop, and he's a catcher. He swings a wide. That's a wide, and he really reached out for that. So 2 strikes.
2 strikeouts in a row.
Now that's an important run out there at second. 3-1 lead going into the 6th inning is a lot safer than 2.
Here's Swessing, and he has had a big stick today, Ted. Big stick.
2 for 2.
2 for 2, drove in 2 runs. That was a key. He's had 2 key base hits in this ball game. And now he's up right now with a chance to add to the Tigers' lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bottom of the 5th inning.
You know, they actually, just to help us out, they put a pronunciation here, and we haven't been using it. And according to this, the runner's going down to third, and he's going to stand at the big. Jack really doesn't have a sister, so maybe it's a cousin.
Swayzing.
They want.
Swayzing. That's easier.
All right.
Swessing was giving me a hard time. Swayzing.
Elementary in Livonia, that's where this gentleman goes.
He's got that bat. He drops it just a little bit right now, Ted, as he really gets serious. You know, you see this kid at the plate. He's got a great eye, you know, and he really gets serious right now. You know, he gets a couple strikes on him, and he really starts to bear down as a hitter. Right there's a call strike.
Takes a strike on the inside.
Very dangerous bat. This is 2 outs, runner at third base. A big run at third base for the Tigers. Struck him out as he stood there. All 3 of them went down just with the call. Third strike in that inning right there as Isaac Ferrero reared back and really held that leadoff walk. Got him all the way to third base, but he held that leadoff walk there without scoring him. So now it's going to be interesting.
All right, we have played. It's 5-3 right now. The Tigers are leading, and we're going to take a short break with this timeout.
I was the lucky one. When I was drowning in a Lake Michigan rip current, 2 brave strangers in a kayak saved my life. But far too many people aren't that lucky. So what I want to do now is help you avoid rip currents by checking with the National Weather Service or the beach for warnings. If you're caught in the grip of a rip current, flip, float, and follow the current until you can break free. And before you try to save someone else, save yourself by grabbing a flotation device. Learn more by Googling rip current safety.
You've probably received one of these in the mail. the Juror Questionnaire, which may have found its way here. Next time, don't throw it away. Ignoring your summons is illegal, and you could end up in jail. To streamline the juror selection process, the Third Circuit Court Questionnaire is now combined with the summons to create the new Juror Questionnaire and Summons. Just log on and complete the form online, or fill in the questionnaire and mail it back. After all, it's better to be here than in jail.
The final inning, the Pirates are at bat. They are trailing by 2 against the Tigers in a Mustang championship here in Garden City for Garden City teams only. Ted Fournier, Phil Henry, and Phil. If you got to play your last inning, you want 3, 4, and 5 coming to the plate.
Absolutely. Vinny Hopper's going to be leading off. He's had 2 singles today. Jeremy Pilch is going to be up. He hit that rocket out there off of the fence for a triple. Isaac Ferraro tripled, and then Aiden Jacobs is going to, be up after that. So the Pirates, had their little meeting, Ted, and basically they need 2 to tie and 3 to go ahead, because the bottom of the 6th inning, if they do go ahead right here, is going to be the Tigers' time to bat. So don't go anywhere. This one right here really promises to be an interesting game within the game, as we're seeing right now.
Well, yeah, just to make sure that we didn't doom the Tigers have got their relief pitcher in, big, strong, smoke-throwing pitcher that had a great inning last time. Number 10's on the mound, and that's Mr. Bucko, Aaron Bucko, and he had a great inning last inning. He allowed a couple runners, but he struck out 3. So it's power against power here. Stepping in, Vinny Hopper, 2 for 2. He scored a run, and here we go at the top of the 6th. And he lines at third base. Foul! That was darn close to the chalk there, Phil.
Absolutely. Donnie Banks down there on third, and he was too late to the party on that one, but it did curve just foul.
This is one of those situations where you want your third baseman over there holding hands with the line. There's a strike in the inside corner low. Left-handed batters like that low pitch, but they don't like low and inside. They like that low pitch across the plate.
Nice. That was a great pitch right there by Bucko now, and he has Vinny Hopper in the hole now. 0-2, Ted.
Well, it's power against power. Your number 3 hitter is usually your best hitter. And he swings and misses at a high fastball. And once again, that's not where the left-handers love it, but he went fishing, and now Bucko has struck out 4 batters. And this is a cleanup hitter, Jeremy Pilch, and Pilch has put a dent in the fence here today. They need base runners.
When we look at the last pitches in that last at bat where he struck out Hopper, I mean, the one pitch where he got strike number 2 on him was down and inside. Then he came right down the middle with the hard stuff, Ted, and he just overmatched him as this one pops into the stands. Souvenir from a guy on Dawson.
Well,
Dawson Street represented.
I wasn't worried because if that hit my truck over there, Dan will do all truck repairs. So.
Now an 0-2 count here, and he rifles it down the third base line, and this could be extra bases for Pilch. He takes a look at it. He's going to run right into second, hustle back in, and ball's overthrown, and it goes underneath the catcher, and all the way to third base is Pilch. Pilch is that kind of player where he kind of glides, Ted. He's not really running full strength. He's really got a lot of baseball sense, for these 9- and 10-year-olds right here. And he watched that play all the way, what should have been a routine single, and he ends up on third base. That puts a lot of pressure on the defenders now.
Well, here comes the coach coming out, Tiger coach L. Bucko, probably dad over here, telling his son, listen, that runner at third doesn't mean nothing. That runner doesn't mean anything. We got to get the batter and the guy on deck, and that guy can score all day, and 5-4 is still a victory. So don't worry about that runner at third. Let's get the batter.
Yeah, and Isaac Ferraro, he was a beneficiary of a similar play where he ended up on third base in that big rally for the Pirates. So he's no stranger to running those base paths or taking advantage of, some little miscues by the Tigers.
rocking inside. You know, on that hit by Pilch, that was a shot that hit the ground and actually just skidded over the glove. The first baseman had his glove there, and that just took a hop over the glove down the line, and that started the old Chinese fire drill. There's a shot down the third base line.
It's going to drop in.
There.
Ferrero gliding into second, putting pressure on the Tigers to throw it, and now that's a big runner right there. Ferrero really done a nice job of hitting right there, going the opposite way for the left-handed batter, and then watching the ball all the way and just glided himself right into second base scoring position. He is the tying run here in the top of the 6th inning, and at bat is Aiden Jacobs.
Well, that runner starts meaning anything, he's going to wind up in third. He actually swung at a pitch above his bill, and once again I use the word tomahawk, but he chopped that thing down the line right over the third baseman's head for the double. He's now on third in a pass ball, and contrary to the last, this run means something.
Yeah, and it was a great job out there because the ball was spinning away like you called it, Ted, and it was spinning away from the left fielder out there, and he did a nice job to bring it in. But, you know, Ferrero just glided right into second base.
So Jacobs is just swung and miss on that. Bucko on the windup. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. That's 2 strikes.
2 strikes. Now it's all you can do right now if you're Aaron Bucko is just rear back, and it's between you and the catcher, Ted.
Strike 3.
Struck him out, and now we're down to Owen Westfall. Now, Westfall has had an interesting game. Behind the plate, took one off his forearm, had to put a bag of ice on it. Now he's got an opportunity right here. Literally the last batter, potentially, for the Pirates. Down low.
Westfall, a couple innings ago, was in pain. They took him off the field. That's the great thing about baseball. 1 inning, you can be down, and then you can be the hero in the last inning. So Westfall digging in, tapping the plate, back foot planted. Crown ball right at us, and you missed it. Thanks for the fence.
And, you know, what we're seeing right now is Aaron Bucko is just really rearing back and throwing hard because that was a late swing right there and just barely got it. Barely got contact with it, Ted. Another hard one.
Westfall, since that last hit, he's the adrenaline's going. He's picked up a mile an hour or 2 here as we got top of the inning, 5-3, runner at 5-4, runner at third. 2 outs, 2 strikes, a swing and a miss. And Bucko saves the game, and he has struck out 6 batters. He gives up a run on a single and a double, and the game comes close. It becomes 5-4, and the championship game goes to the Tigers. You want final words here, Phil?
Well, it was a terrific, well-played game. I talked about it earlier in the game, so if you're just joining us, 2 fundamentally strong teams, well-coached teams, very evenly matched, as you might tell by the final score. And it was basically the Tigers striking first and got off to a 5-0 lead, so it put the Pirates in a position of having to come back, you know, from behind, Ted. And they did a great job. They had the tying run over at third base when ultimately the final strike was swung and missed by Owen Westfall, and the Pirates have nothing to be ashamed of. They finished second in the Mustang League Championship game. They're going to get some prizes for this. Going to have an awarding of prizes. Both teams are winners in our eyes, as well as everyone who participated in this season, but the overall champion is going to go to the Tigers in 2014.
Well, for our entire crew, I want to thank them, our director Dan York and producer Dan York. This is a celebration of baseball in a great city that loves baseball. The Tigers and the Pirates played a great game representing all the teams here in Garden City. The winners is Garden City's GCYAA basketball. I'm Ted Fournier. He's Phil Henry. The champions, the Tigers, they win 5-4. We'll see you an hour from now on GCYAA baseball. Omni Edition Sports. Good night.